Judy, when you walk into an environment, how would you know where to set up the interview, how close to frame the camera, things like that? What would you be going through in your mind?
Well, I generally work with a cinematographer, and we discuss, the basics that you want in an interview, where you want some depth of field. You don't want anybody sitting up against a flat wall, and we know the basics of what it takes to make a shot look good, and we just work around it and tweak around it and pick an angle, and if it didn't work, we pick something else. It's a creative moment, and you just get into it. I don't have preconceived ideas. I come into the environment and discuss with my cameraman and say, what do we have? What are our options? Most of the time, when you're in an environment that is not a shooting environment, you're dealing with the limitations. And so it's working within those limitations to try to find the best shot, the best angle.
What are some of the things you're doing to put your subject, for lack of a better word, at ease and build a rapport with them? You have a quick amount of time, maybe you've had no prior correspondence beforehand?
Well, I never do an interview that I haven't had a correspondence in advance. I've always talked to the person, either in person or on the telephone. I always have a really deep knowledge of them, of their career, of their history, of where they fit into this story, of what their interview, what I need their interview to do, because you're always carrying the story in your head and in your heart. You emotionally are attached to the idea that you're trying to present, and you are looking for subjects to flesh out that idea. The idea that you go out there and you just shoot a bunch of stuff and then you go in the cutting room and cut it is a little naive, because you have to have somewhere in your psyche a story that you want to tell, and you have to know how the people that you're interviewing fit into the telling of that story. So that's what you come to the interview with. Then when you sit with the person that you're interviewing, you've already established some rapport with them, either by direct conversation or on the telephone, and they have a sense of where you're going with the interview. It's very important that they be comfortable with where you're going, that you're not going to go in and ask them some personal, salacious question that is going to shut them off. Because if you get into areas where people are shocked or surprised at what you say, that's not the kind of filmmaker I am. Some people like to do that. They like to shock and surprise their subjects. But I find that if you're trying to tell your story, that turns people off. So I try to take them into areas where they will fulfill the needs of the story. And then I just let them talk. Just like you do.